happy to welcome you here once again for our first Ibec meeting this financial year, and those coming here for the first time, karibuni hapa Karen. I wish to note that we have made a significant progress since our last meeting in June. We had a very successful 8th Devolution Conference in Eldoret, who was in Gishu County, the resolutions of which we are currently implementing. Let me acknowledge and reaffirm the commitment of the Gachagua'S administration to ensuring that our devolution dream works for the betterment of the Kenyan people. His Excellency President William Ruto and I are committed to fostering harmonious and consultative intergovernmental relations and cooperations at both levels of government. We also acknowledge and appreciate your continued support to our various development interventions and under our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Let us continue to realign our development programs and projects to this economic model. As part of the better framework, I especially appreciate your support to our coffee and tea reform agenda. We are determined to ensuring that the farmers' interests are mainstream and reap maximum benefits from their sweat. I urge you to extend the same cooperation to other value chains that include dairy, livestock, sugar, cotton, among others that have the potential to revive our economy, create employment opportunities to our young people, and change their lives for the better. I wish Your Excellencies to emphasize our commitment to timely disbursement of funds to counties. Even under the current difficult fiscal space, and for the first time in our devolution history, the National Treasury was able to disburse all amounts due to counties by the end of the last financial year at midnight on 30th June. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, this financial year we have fully remitted equitable share of July and a substantial part of August and September. However, we have noted that some of our counties hold a lot of funds in their respective accounts in the central bank. In view of the timely disbursement, I strongly urge you to fast-track payments of pending bills on first-in, first-out basis. Indeed, we should not be having pending bills for the last financial year. Delayed salaries to the county staff should also be a thing of the past. Where there are challenges, I urge the Council of Governors, the Controller of Budget, and the National Treasury to institute mechanisms and administrative procedures that guarantee timely salary payments, and where there are challenges, my office is always open and available to create the right synergy for consultation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, prompt payments of goods and services that are due releases a lot of funds to our entrepreneurs, SMEs, and local business in our counties, and hence increasing liquidity in the economy, boosting economic activities, and by extension, increasing tax revenue to our government. We have noted with a lot of concern that the level of own source revenue collected is still below 35% of your estimated potential, especially areas such as property tax, which is a low-hanging fruit. Excellencies, as we agreed in our last meeting, please do streamline your revenue collecting systems with a view of optimizing your existing own resource revenue system by digitizing and automating your revenue systems and sealing leakages. I want to reaffirm the commitment of His Excellency President William Ruto and myself to unbundling the remaining functions as per the President's directive during the devolution conference. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we finalize on devolving the remaining functions, we have noted with a lot of concerns some emerging threats to devolution. Among the threats is the ever-rising wage bills that is slowly eroding the amounts appropriated for development expenditure. Such wage increases are not sustainable, both in the short term and in the long term. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, corruption is a threat to both levels of governments. Let us work collectively to put in place control measures to monitor the use of public funds such that all procurement and expenditures are within the law. As I conclude, I wish to appreciate your continued support in jointly implementing the universal health care program that we launched jointly recently. I urge you to prioritize preventive health care, as this will enhance the quality of health care in the whole nation and reduce the cost of curative medicine. In conclusion, let us partner together as we put in place measures to mitigate the effects of El Nino rains, which are expected to start in mid-October and continue to the end of December. Let us mobilize a contingency fund through budget harmonization and county-based emergency funds. We have launched the second phase of the farmers' registration so that we can know our farmers, and the beneficiaries of that database is the county government. Let us work together with our officers of the National Government Administration and your CECs in agriculture so that we can capture all the required database to help us plan better, to help us know where we need to intervene for our farmers, so that agriculture being a devolved function, the national government can give the necessary support. As we appreciate the expected bumper harvest due to the very good rains that we have benefited from, I want to urge the county governors to work with the national government to forestall post-harvest losses in helping our farmers with the drying capacity so that we don't have losses. Again, our program for subsidizing fertilizer is ongoing. We have reduced fertilizer from 3,500 to 2,500. Again, we want to thank those governors who have created the last mile distribution network to get the fertilizer to where the farmers are. And I urge the county governments to continue doing so. And where they have not established a last mile mechanism, to please do so so that we can work together. And we have agreed with the chair and the leadership of the Council of Governors that I will, as a matter of urgency, convene a meeting between the Cabinet Secretary in charge of roads and transport, the Kenya Roads Board, and the KERA agency, representatives of the Council of Governors under my chairmanship, and the leadership of the National Assembly, for us to look at the law and interrogate the concerns and the issues as raised by the COG with a view of a win-win situation that doesn't bring acrimony or interferes with the road maintenance program in the counties. That is a commitment that I've given, and we'll be able to do that in due course. Once more, thank the county governors for your cooperation in my leadership of creating a good relationship between the two levels of government. We have had a lot of cooperation, and I want to say that it is our commitment as the national government that there is a seamless cooperation between the two levels of government because they serve the same people. As I've stated to you repeatedly, our officers on the ground in the counties have clear, irrevocable, and sufficient instructions to accord maximum respect and cooperation to the county governors and the county governments so that we can serve the people better.
Our ask is therefore an immediate intervention. We request Ibec to approve and transmit to the Senate the request to exempt financial years 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 from the application of Section 191A to E of the PFM Act. And in the long term, we propose that the new sections of 191A to E of the PFM Act be repealed, since there are existing legislative frameworks for the administration and effective transfer of conditional allocations. There's a statement on county government's preparedness for El Nino. Currently, 35 counties have submitted their El Nino preparedness plans, which have been shared with the Office of the Deputy President. Your Excellency, the total budget required to avert, minimize, and respond to the effects of El Nino is 15 billion. However, only 1.9 billion is available in the county budgets, resulting in a deficit of about 13 billion. This therefore requires the national government and development partners to support in funding the deficit. The Council of Governors notes that the previous disaster response, that is the recent drought, was not well coordinated. Hence, the national government's response was not timely and well targeted. To this end, the Council requests that any response be channeled through the Office of the Council of Governors and that funding for the noted deficit be provided to the counties. I think what we're saying is that the resources to implement the plans that have been presented to go through the county governments. This will ensure that the mitigation and response to El Nino is well coordinated to avoid duplication and wastage of resources.